Hey guys, subscribe for daily content. And if you're shopping for gear, make sure you check out the description for the newest items at some of the very best online retailers. There's also links for some of the items that I personally recommend. Thanks!
What's going on, YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today I've got a short little knife review / knife overview to share with you guys. This is the Miguron Vazot. At least I'm going to guess that's how we pronounce that, V-A-Z-O-T. This is one of the highest quality sub $30 knives that I have ever handled. In fact, within the 5,000 plus uploads on this channel, there have only been, 4 knives under $30 that I actually recommend. Miguron is right now, I think, in the best position to start offering these mega high quality, ultra budget knives. That's what I'm referring to, the sub $30 territory in the knife world. Usually this is, what's a nice way to put it? Disgusto Barfo Poo Poo Town is how I would describe this area of the knife world. But Miguron and a couple other companies, including QSP, have actually managed to create some pretty high quality stuff. This thing right here, yeah, I'm just going to tell you right now at the beginning of the review, this is amazing for $29.75 or whatever they have it as on their website. I'll link it down in the description. You guys can check it out if you want to. If you're new to pocket knives and you want to know, like, where's a good place to start, this is there's a couple of them, but this is a great place to start, right? Or if you're just looking for a nice, beater knife or a gift for somebody and you don't want to give them junk, this is a great knife. It'll be linked down in the description. Thanks so much to Miguron for supplying this knife for review. Thanks to my patrons for supporting me. Make sure your notifications are turned on for the Metal Complex YouTube channel so you don't miss out on my weekend giveaways. Overall length, 7.5 inches, blade length 3 1/4, cutting edge 3 inches. So it's not even like a tiny knife either. That's what's cool. They actually made like a good sized pocket knife here. Not a full size, but a good sized one. Size comparisons, any custom scales you find in this section can be found down in the description under Original Goat and Others. So we can see 80-10 in my own Excalibur. You can see here it's not a huge knife. Quite a bit smaller than these, but these are larger than full-size knives for sure. Let's put it up against the Spyderco PM2. And the Spyderco Para 3, much closer in size to the Para 3. It actually has quite a bit more cutting edge than the Para 3. Let's put it up against the Benchmade Group Tillinator, in this case the Ritter Hogue, and the Hogue Deca. Little shorter than the Hogue Deca with almost the same amount of cutting edge. How's the action? Well, Miguron does make a nice pocket knife. Not only do they use appropriate materials, but they also have really, really good tolerances, very solid tolerances. In fact, their budget knives have the same tolerances as their premium knives, like their titanium and M390 knives. This has a basic liner lock. You can see here it's actually PVD coated. PVD coated liner, which is amazing, honestly. PVD coating is not nearly as durable as DLC, but it's one of the better coatings that you can get. So it's amazing that this is optional at this price. But they don't even charge more money for it. You just can get it, right? Plenty of cutout there for access to the lock bar. Move it over. It's got a little bit of top position stick. It probably could be remedied by just putting a drop of oil on the top of it. But most of these are going to come, drop shut. Let me see if I have an example of a Miguron that I've been using that has really good. Here's one right here that gets flipped out a lot. This is another example of and see that top position, right after you disengage the liner lock, it wants to fall. That's just the detent ball wearing its race in, to the surface there. So that'll continue to get smoother. But the actual pivot action, once you get that past that point, it's nice and smooth. Comes down, you can touch that point right there, right behind, like where the sharpening choil is. Stop the blade with your finger and then turn, and just with a little bit of encouragement, it'll go into the closed position. The way that you deploy this is a front flipper. If you've never utilized a front flipper before, right, you'll get used to it. You'll get, you can get all fancy with it or whatever you want, right? It's really not that difficult to figure out. I hope that in the future they make sub $30 knives with a basic thumb stud and a flipper tab. They've gotten pretty close with a number of models that are $35 to $40, but hopefully some future sub $30 knives have thumb studs and flipper tabs, because that's going to be probably a little bit more second nature to a lot of folks. But the flipper tab version of this knife, or the front flipper Vazot in this case, is actually very easy to figure out. I think maybe practicing with it for about 2 minutes, you'll have it figured out. The D10 is tuned properly. It's great. I wish we could access this little aesthetic fuller we can't really, you can get up here and kind of get your fingernail in it, but as far as deploying it, it takes a bit of awkward leverage. It's doable, not a means of deployment that I would depend on. I think the front flipper is going to be the way to go, but good enough, more than good enough, honestly. Let's do carry profile. Thickness up against a pair of 3. This is thicker, and it's number 1 because it's fairly thick G10 scales that are contoured, by the way, which is pretty impressive because QSP's competitor, the Penguin and the Puffin, is that what it is? Is Penguin and the, I can't remember what there's another one that's like $28. Those are just flat micarta or flat G10 scales. These are contoured. These are nice. Like it. Doesn't cost that much more to contour G10, but it does look and feel very, very nice. So I like that. That's why it's a little thicker there. Not too crazy. Length and height up against the PM2, pair of 3. Yeah, it's just very compact object. It's not difficult to carry at all. What are we looking at for materials? We're looking at D2, which they list as 58 to 60. Now, that's not an optimal heat treat for D2. Probably the coated blades are going to be closer to the 58 range, and your uncoated blades will be closer to the 60 range. So if you want that higher end of the HRC range, go with an uncoated blade. Realistically, though, D2 should be 60 plus, right? I can't count them off too much at $30. It's still okay. I really don't want to come down on it and be a stickler. But if you really want to blow people's socks off, you get that HRC range at least a point higher. But it's okay where it is at 30. You know, if you're going to go higher than that, you need your HRC range higher. Anyways, G10, steel liners, steel hardware, D2 blade, 3.6 ounces for a little over 3 inches of blade. What did we measure that at? We measured at 3 1/4. Not bad at all. Balance, a little ways back because we have much more material back here than up here, but that's, I mean, for the total weight and size of this object, it's not a big deal at all. This is almost certainly going to have T8 hardware across the board. We'll get out my tools. My tools are very inexpensive, and that's not a driver. Get out my tools are very inexpensive and very recommendable. You can find them right down in the section of my description that talks about the tools I use on this channel. We got a T8 for the pivot, T6 for the pocket clip screws, and we have T8 for the body screw. We need a mounting position on the other side for lefties. Outside of that, you know, I think we're good. Taking the knife apart and putting it back together is super simple. As long as you have the right tools for the job, you should be good to go. Let's go ahead and measure the blade stock thickness on this guy real quick. Blade stock thickness here is going to be 121 thousandths, which is fine. Meat and potatoes time. We're going to be going quick here. Fully flat ground blade, relatively thin behind the edge. Very nice factory edge, nice and slicey. It's going to do exactly what you want it to do. Ergonomically, probably should have had some jimping extended beyond, you know, what we had for the flipper tab just out here. But truthfully, ergonomically, it's plenty good. The pocket clip that they put on these has got quite a bit of retention, but we have the proper bill out here, so in and out of the pocket is really, really easy. Honestly, really comfortable and straightforward. It's pretty organic, right? It's kind of what you'd expect of like a basic pocket knife, and it will definitely do the trick. That's the thing. At this price point, I don't expect a whole lot. So the fact that we're getting a PVD coating, we're getting, you know, a good blade steel, even if it's not perfectly heat treated, it's good. We have the contour G10 scales. You have a number of different options there. You've got a nice minimalist aesthetic. You've got a good functional geometry, which is going to do a lot more for you than, you know, the HRC will. I mean, obviously, the optimized balance between the two is the way to go. But even at 59 HRC D2, the geometry here with this blade is going to make sure that it cuts and cuts and cuts, and it won't be super hard to touch up. Again, it would be better if we had higher HRC, but I'm okay with it at this price point. We have a backspacer back here that's G10. We have the coating on the liners as well, which is nice. We even have, I don't know if they even PVD coated the pocket clip, or it's just like how they finish. It's probably PVD coated as well. Really, we need that lefty mounting position on all of your knives. Miguron, all of them should have the holes for the lefty position. That would be ideal, right? And that's pretty much it. I mean, there's no lanyard thing or anything. That doesn't really matter. Most people are not putting lanyards on their knives anyways nowadays, so it doesn't really matter. We have a stop pin that is located. Is that actually the stop? Yeah. So this actually does stop on the pin right here, which is fine. No blade play up, down, left to right. No lock stick. No pivot lash. Smooth and consistent in here with a nice clicky detent. And are we centered? We are. We are centered. We are good to go. Does it actually maybe... That's in my imagination. I think that's centered. Anyways, $29 knife. If they can do this, if you're looking at that, you're like, yeah, it's fine, but I want a different, you know, combination of deployment and this or that. Do not expect Miguron, like people are going to, I know there's going to be one guy going, it's just a liner lock. I don't expect them to get super innovative with the locking systems here. This is not a territory where we're going to see, not yet, eventually I think so. But in this territory, like you've only got a couple of different options. For what? I doubt you, I don't care, even though they are being made in China, considering how they're making these, I mean, there's like super junk, like the Smith & Wesson crap brands that people have no idea. So many people are like, Smith & Wesson's, they make, it's bottom tier trash. Tac Force and freaking Dragon Wizard, whatever. All of those brands are such garbage. And they're selling that stuff at, listen, even if you buy one of those knives and it's $10, you still bought crap. I'd say this for triple is better. Right? Now, if you know and you just want the dragon theme and you're just like, whatever, yeah, sure, knock yourself out. But if you're looking for a quality cutting tool, don't think that you're actually getting it. Don't think that number one, you're getting a joke composition, and it's probably not heat treated at all. I bet the hardness on the blade is probably 40, which is an absolute joke, right? Tolerances are a joke. The thing's going to fall apart. The lock face geometry is bad. It's dangerous. It's unreliable, unsafe, right? All of that stuff. Check. Every negative box you could check. It's all there. This is like one of the least expensive recommendable knives that I have ever handled. And I think it's just the beginning. I think Miguron will have a whole line of sub $30 knives that have every combination of flipper, thumb stud, whatever. And you'll have your uncoated and your coated blades and you'll have whatever. The only thing that I would ask Miguron is go above and beyond and get your HRC range just a little bit higher, because then you are so far ahead of your competition. You are so far ahead by getting those HRC ranges higher, right? Even if other companies are able to produce essentially, this nearly the same level of quality or whatever, then you have bragging rights for that. Not only your good cutting geometry, but your higher optimized HRC ranges for D2. And let's remember, D2 will outperform, even at like moderately okay HRC range, it will still outperform the vast majority of blade steels that are commonly found under $100. Not sprint runs and special this or that. Typically, I would say 90% of the compositions that we find under $100, D2, when it's even moderately well heat treated, will outperform in terms of edge retention the vast majority of those steels. So if you're that one company making $30 knives and you got D2 at 60 to 62, oh my God. Like that's how to do. This is already incredible. Just go the extra mile. Get it done. Is this recommendable? You bet it is. This is amazing. This is a recommendable knife. It's also just generally an inexpensive knife that I like, so it's going to go on both of those playlists. Easy. No brainer. Awesome knife. Keep doing this, Miguron, for as long as you can. Please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do, of course, have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like, so check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on that Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe, because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.